pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight we are joined by 6 of our board members, our superintendent of schools, Dr. Timothy Harney, our assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, Dr. Ted Fulton, our assistant superintendent for finance and operations, Mr. Rich Snyder, our district legal counsel, Mr. Christopher Clayton, our district clerk, Mr. Chris Oliva, and our student rep, Robert Honey. There are 2 opportunities for the community to participate during the Board of Ed meetings. The first is just before the board takes up its agenda, and the second follows the disposition of all agenda items. If you'd like to speak, you must be a resident of the school district. Any other person must be voted in by the board by a majority vote. If you come up to the podium, please state your name and where you live. We ask you to limit that to 3 minutes. For the convenience of the community, all Bayport Blue Point Board of Education meetings are videotaped and posted thereafter to the school district website. And if you'd like to follow BBP Schools on Twitter, you can follow us at BBP Schools, or if you'd like to follow Dr. Harney, you can follow Dr. Harney at BBP Soup. Just want to make a quick statement. There was a comment made in our last meeting. We just want to express to the BBP community that we value cultural diversity, and the district will not be entertaining the comment that was made at the last board meeting. With that being said, we open it up to the community for any new or old business. Not seeing any, we'll turn it over to Dr. Harney for his superintendent report. Dr. Harney?
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good evening, everybody. I have a couple of things for you tonight, so just bear with me a little bit. So just kind of to recap the meeting since the last time, which was, I guess, October 4th or 5th, whatever it was. So since the last time, just so you know, we've obviously had, since that time, 2 additional positive cases, one at Blue Point Elementary, which was an adult within the building, and then we had a staff member at Sylvan last night. I'm happy to say that Sylvan has been cleared, and we will be open tomorrow if anyone did not see the email that I had sent tonight. I'd also like to thank everyone who has sent some feedback in both situations in terms of how the district moved from in-person to remote very quickly, and the feedback has been very positive, so I'd like to thank you for that. And really, I'd like to thank our teachers and our administrators who really made the transition very quickly. In both cases, I ultimately would hope to try to keep the schools open, but in both cases, because of the late notification that we were told and the things that we have to do with Suffolk County Department of Health, sometimes the contact tracing takes a long period of time, so we really have to wait for Suffolk County. I am hoping in the future, if we find out earlier that maybe we can figure out the contact tracing earlier with Suffolk County, maybe we'll still be able to keep the buildings open as we're going forward. But it really is truly a case by case. But again, I'd really like to thank both buildings, the administrators, and obviously the high school had one earlier on this, so I'd like to thank them as well. But the transition has been somewhat smooth, so all the planning that we've been able to do, we're getting to test a lot of our protocols and procedures. So the protocols and procedures that Ms. Dugan had at Sylvan really proved the case, because it really only turned to be the positive case, and then some students within that place that had to be quarantined, which is very good news. So that kind of tells you what we're doing is working. So I'd like to thank her and her staff for everything that they've done. Also, in terms of, we made announcements last time in terms of some of the instructional changes that we're making. So they'll be coming this Monday, so we've been trying to prepare for that as we've been going. So one of them has been, obviously, we're going to be moving to live streaming at the secondary level. Really grades 7 through 12, though 6th grade is in there because we are going to be bringing 6th grade back as of next week. 6th grade will be in 6 different locations. So we're doubling the sizes of the rooms, so we will still be able to obviously keep the social distance of 6 feet. If you're familiar with the middle school, we have the 4 double rooms there. There's a divider in between them, so that will become a single classroom. So it'll be a double classroom with what is our normal student to teacher ratio. Then we'll also be using the library at the time, and we're going to be using the back gymnasium. So there will be a little bit more movement, but the good news is we will have our students in there. So that's a positive there. And then we've been working on putting some second devices in the classrooms to assist with this live streaming, as well as mics and things. So those things are all continuing to happen. So I really also like to thank our technology department for everything that they've been doing, especially over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's been for the last 8 months, but especially over the last couple of weeks. One of the things, and I think you might have received a notification possibly tonight, one of the things we've been trying to figure out is the extra help piece. It's not as easy as you think it is. People often say, well, you just can't do it the traditional way. Well, it's not that easy because, for example, one, we can't have students moving around the building a lot. We have to really keep track of where they are due to contact tracing. That's one. Two, we can't really open up our buildings earlier because, again, for that same reason, we need people to go to locations and we need to continuously clean. So that becomes another piece. And then three is because you're doing these cohorts, you don't want students to get boxed out of extra help because you can only have a certain amount of students in the school. So even if you had a blue day, let's say, teachers still may have 60 students in at that time. They cannot get 60 students in for extra help. You know, it's basically 12. It's a class size. And we want to be able to service more. So one of the things we've kind of come up with in the last couple of days, and it's really been through feedback from staff, from parents, and especially students. Mr. Haas and myself, and probably Mr. Haas more than me, have received a number of emails from students about the change and wanted to know why some of it. And one of the things that came up is some of them were very happy with the advisory and using it for extra help to reach out to the teachers. So we are going to still try to keep a small portion of the day early in the morning, 20 minutes at the high school and 24 minutes at the middle school, which would still give us 39 minutes per period, which then would allow us to have some built-in extra help every single day so that if a student wanted to reach out to a teacher, he or she would have that opportunity every single day. It does not preclude the student, though, from reaching out to the teacher about additional extra help opportunities. We just wanted to make sure that we built something in, and it really came from feedback that we were receiving really in the last week or so. So just so you know, we're going out with that. The other piece that we had talked about the last time, and this is something that Dr. Fulton has been working on with Mr. Andruskowitz at the middle school and Mr. Haas, is that idea of trying to do something for after school in terms of, I don't really want to call it an ARS, but an extra support. We've done postings, and we are going to be looking to institute an after-school program in the relative near future. So that is something as well. So that's new from the last time that you heard. Also, we talked about Wednesdays. Will be that alternating day Wednesday, depending on the cohort that a student is part of. So 1 week, a student might be in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The other group would be in Thursday, Friday. And then the next week, it would be Monday, Tuesday, followed by a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that is something. Because we have 2 4-day weeks coming up, you'll probably see that the week of, I guess it's November 12th or 13th, where that will really take place. Because after November 2nd, we have Election Day, and then the following week, we have Veterans Day. So those days, we had students coming in each of the days already. So that's something. And then you already heard me talk about the 6th grade students. So those are kind of the updates that we're doing. I also know at the high school, Mr. Haas is starting his own principal council so that he can continue to take feedback from the students. He has a number of students in each of the grades that he's looking to do, so that's something that we're excited about as well. Many of you know that I have my own superintendent council in each of the buildings. I've been able to meet with them this week, which was nice, getting them outside a little bit and in the 3 elementary schools. So that's been a real positive and kind of reminds us why we're doing all this. So that was great. Last meeting, we also talked about starting some off-season workouts. That's looking to start very, very soon. Again, that is completely volunteer. It's not happening in every sport or anything, but it's really a complete volunteer. But you can kind of look at in the schools, there'll start to be some notification. And then really what I like to end with is and we'll kind of go from here, and then I'll pass it over to Dr. Fulton, this is Board of Education Recognition Week. So I would like to thank the 7 people that are up here with me for everything that you've done over the course of the past year. and especially in the past 7, 8 months. It's been a very challenging and very different 7, 8 months, and I cannot thank you enough for all your support through this time. I know I truly appreciate it, and I know our staff does as well. So really, I would just like to thank you for everything that you've done. I'm looking forward to continuing our work together, but again, just thank you for everything. I really, really appreciate it. With that, I know Dr. Fulton has a couple of things that he's been working on with some of the buildings, so I'm going to pass this part over to him so we can go forward.
Good evening. So our board appreciation is going to look a little differently than it has in years past. In years past, we've been able to have students with performances and things like that. So we are limited a little bit with our COVID protocols, but we still do have some nice things that have been created by our administration and students to say thank you for your service. So first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Haas, representing the high school.
Thank you, Dr. Fulton. I'm going to turn it over. I just want to say a quick thank you for everything you've done. As Dr. Arnie said in the past, since March, it has definitely been a challenge, but it has been a lot easier knowing that we have the support of our Board of Education as we go through this, and knowing that we're going through this together as a team. I know as Dr. Fulton said, we normally have the students here from the high school playing and the middle school playing for you, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Honey, who's going to do the official thank you from the high school, so we do have a student who's able to thank you. But thank you for everything you do and all your support.
All right. And going off of what Mr. Haas said, from a student's perspective at the high school, we couldn't be more thankful for being back in school and the hybrid model that's been implemented. It's really great, looking back from 1 March when we were sent home, and it put a damper on the end of last year, but coming back to school this year, being able to see our teachers, see familiar faces, we're all really appreciative of all the work that the board has put in to get us to this point, and that they're still putting in to progress us further. So thank you very much for all your work from the high school level to get us back into school in as much of a normal way as possible. And the flowers and cards on the tables, that's from the high school. So thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Honey. Thank you, Mr. Haas. Next up, I'd like to call up Mr. Andruskowitz, representing our middle school.
Thank you, Dr. Fulton. In lieu of students performing, I did ask Mr. Haas if you want to do a whole notes number together. He politely declined. But with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for all your support. As everyone said, the past couple months have been a little crazy, but it's great to have a team behind us. We did have our Mrs. Burns, who's one of our art teachers, work with the students, create this beautiful card for you guys with thank yous from a number of our students. So thank you guys very much.
I think we're a little disappointed, Mr. Andruskowitz, that we're not going to see the Hall & Oates duet, but maybe next meeting. Next up, representing Blue Point Elementary School, Ms. Tara Flasco. Thank you, Blue Point Elementary. Ms. Van is not able to join us today, but there is a card too as well, and the video. Is the Academy card over? Oh, this is the Sylvan card. Underneath? Okay, thank you. So, this card is from Academy Elementary. So, and they went with BBP through it, hands down, you are the best, and then each class supplied a hand on the card, so, very nice. My apologies, the video link for the Academy is not working, but we'll make sure that we get that sent to everybody tomorrow. And last not least is Sylvan Elementary. Ms. Dugan cannot be here today, but they made a wonderful card, which I'll present to you. And they got fancy, because it's a trifold, so so it opens up on the back, and then there's messaging again, the hands from everyone. So, thank you, Mr. So thank you to all of our students who helped create these acknowledgements, and again, thank you for our Board of Education for your continued support of the Bayport learning community. Thank you.
We just want to thank everyone from Mr. Honey to Mr. Haas, Mr. Andrzejewicz, Ms. Velasco, Sylvan, and also Academy. Dr. Fulton, we truly appreciate it. It's really easy to put in a lot of time when you're working with such great people and all the great students here. So thank you so much for the appreciation. But really, we should be thanking you for everything you guys do for the students here and the students. We're so grateful that you're back in school, and we're looking forward to continuing bringing students back. So thank you so much, guys. We do appreciate it. Dr. Harney?
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So I'd like everyone to think back and think about what you were supposed to be doing on March 23rd of 2020. I can tell you where I was supposed to be on March 23rd, 2020. I was supposed to be at an award ceremony for actually three of our staff members, but two of them are here with us tonight. And I really have not had the opportunity to acknowledge them. So each year, Scope does an awards dinner, and they get to recognize different people of your staff. So that night, I was supposed to be there to recognize two of our staff members. Ms. Carly Gayer, who's with us here tonight. There she is, thank you. And Ms. Tara Velasco, who's also with us here tonight. So I would like to thank them, and I'm going to read what we wrote about them for that night so everybody can hear that. And then I'm probably going to add my own 2 cents because that's what I do. So I'm going to do Ms. Gayer first. So in addition to being an exemplary teacher and talented artist, Ms. Gayer consistently imagined ways to enhance BBP's educational program. She serves as a member of the Energy Bus leadership team, contributing ideas and working alongside colleagues to develop ways to foster and promote positivity in our schools. She organizes and showcases elementary student artwork at the annual BAFA and CB's art shows, and in the lobby of the auditorium for winter concerts and 5th grade graduation. Her efforts enrich the educational program, beautifying the school with murals, creating bulletin boards, and decorations for holidays and school events. Ms. Gayer's creative stamp turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is truly something to say. Ms. Gayer is always there when we need an extra assistance. She's always there for that positive piece. She's absolutely always there where she can do something for the students. For any of you, and many of you may have not seen it, is what she did this past spring in terms of trying to put together a virtual art show for the students was truly amazing. It really was, and I cannot thank you enough for that because it was still something that we still got to experience all of our students' work, and I can't imagine how much time went into it because I just know how long it wanted me to go through it. So I really would just like to congratulate you. I'd like to bring you up here, and I'd like to give you this plaque, so thank you. We could do a 6-foot picture. Let's do that. Let me go through. We're going to do a picture. Hold on 1 second.
Maybe you stand behind the students. Look at everybody.
You mind if we take some of the students with you and kind of put them around? Is that okay? And we'll kind of keep our distance. Do you want to go out there, Chris?
Hey, guys, come up on stage. Come over here.
You guys want to come up over here?
Watch me go and turn an ankle. Look at that. Exactly right. I do have one other person I need to recognize as well, and it's Miss Velasco. So I'm going to read her piece, and then I'll give you a little bit. Miss Velasco has made an enormous impact on the BBP district in the short time she has been principal at Blue Point Elementary. She brought the energy bus to the district in 2018-19 by selecting energy as her own one word. Ms. Velasco then helped start a district one-word initiative for 2019-20. She's an active member of the SEL task force, where she wholeheartedly supported the planning of 3 district-wide family nights, a book talk, and monthly themes for no homework nights, which all support the goal of strengthening the communication between home and school. Ms. Velasco is a student-centered leader who keeps parents in the community in the loop with constant communications via email, Twitter, handwritten notes, and phone calls to let her parents know their child or children are doing well while in her care. Ms. Velasco is a valued member of the administrative team, and we are lucky to have her lead Blue Point Elementary. In a very short period of time, Ms. Velasco has ingrained herself into the Bayport Blue Point community. Not only does she do things with the Blue Point Elementary community, but district-wide. You can often see her at many events. She had started this energy bus initiative a number of years ago, which really went through district-wide. When it comes to the SEL, she is often one of the go-to people that we go to as we're trying to pick her brain for things that maybe we want to try at one school and then we kind of expand upon it. She's an outstanding leader within the building, and I know that she truly loves her students and her staff. So I just want to thank her for that, and congratulations, Ms. Velasco.
All right, guys, feel free to stay for the rest of the board meeting, but at this time, if you want to leave, we will not be upset. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
All right, at this time, we'll turn it over to the student delegate for his report. Mr. Honey, how are you tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So as we approach the end of the second marking period, I just want to say things have been going very well so far. There's a lot of talk about the new hybrid model implementing next week, and really the main worry about it that I've heard is having to wake up earlier. But with COVID coming on in March of last year, I think a lot of us got used to sleeping in. So that's besides that, I've heard a lot of enthusiasm, and I think it'll be better in the long run for students to have access on demand to teachers through the live instruction, grades 7 through 12. As far as athletics go, like Dr. Harney said, off-season workouts are starting soon for some sports. There's been a lot of enthusiasm about that, and we're thankful for the Booster Club's contribution to allow varsity athletes to now get memberships at Unique Fitness for only $15 a month. I've heard a lot of enthusiasm about this. I was actually there today, and I started mine. So there's a lot of ways that we're staying active as we await the start of the sports season. Majority of extracurricular clubs, such as the debate club, the Interact Club, and student council and more, are finding more ways to hold meetings virtually so that all students can be involved, even though not all students are in the building at the same time. From what I've heard, it's gone very well, and these extracurriculars are a great way for students to have the most normal school experience as possible through COVID regulations. Additionally, high school seniors have been working daily in their English classes to focus on college applications with assistance from the guidance department to help navigate the Common App and other college applications, as well as English teachers being there every day with assistance in writing college essays. In the near future, there's going to be virtual college fairs for high school students that would take the place of the in-person college fairs that would have happened at the end of last month and towards the end of the year. And many students that I've seen have been taking advantage of college admissions visits in times like study halls and lunch periods where you get one-on-one interactions with college admissions counselors enabled through the use of Chromebooks and Google Meet. And lastly, I'd like to just thank all teachers, not only at the high school, but also from what I've heard at the middle school and elementary levels, being really responsive and easy to ask questions, quick turnaround times. It's just really beneficial from a student's perspective to have amazing teachers at BBP. And it really helps us have the greatest learning experience in this unprecedented time. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Honey. I'm sure it means a lot to the staff to hear you say that. So I'm sure they appreciate it, but thank you for saying that. And that's how everyone's been feeling. Everyone's been going above and beyond, so thank you so much. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items the board would like to remove from the consent agenda and place on the regular agenda? Not hearing any. Can I have a motion to approve consent agenda items G, H, I, J, K, and L? Mr. Siri, second.
Second.
Mr. Krug, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Inside that consent agenda tonight was Mr. Oliva's resignation. One of our team members is going to be leaving us. He has found a new position in a nearby school district. It's bittersweet. It is a position I know he has longed for, so congratulations on your position. We will miss you, and we truly appreciate everything you've done for the Bayport Blue Point School District over the last 4.5 years. We wish you the best of luck, and cannot thank you enough for everything. And we appreciate the team that you've been, and we're looking forward to seeing your successes along the way. So thank you, Mr. Oliva. We truly appreciate it. Moving on to the regular agenda. Can I have a motion to abolish policy 150, HIV and AIDS? Mr. Siri, second. Mr. Borowski, this is going to be incorporated into our student health services, so we're abolishing this policy, but this will be put in and incorporated into another one, just so everyone's aware. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 300, accountability? Mr. Siri, second. Mr. Crew, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 310, board self-evaluation? Mr. Broski, second. Mr. Siri, just so everyone's aware, the one piece that was added to the board self-evaluation was where the board self-evaluation was kept. It will be kept with the superintendent going forward, just so everyone's aware. Any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 1120, school district records? Mr. Siri? Second by Mr. Crew. We just updated some of the language, just so everyone is aware. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 1310.1, staff participation in political activities? Mr. Broski, second. Mr. Siri. Again, this additional updated language in this policy. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 1400, public complaints? Can I have a motion? Siri, Mr. Siri, second by Mr. Crew. Any discussion? Additional updated language in this policy. Very few changes, but was updated. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to review policy 3100, superintendent of schools? Mr. Crew, second by Mr. Broski. Any discussion? Updated language and we consolidated policies 320 and 3120, so everyone's aware. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to abolish policy 3230, the organization chart? Mr. Siri, second. Mr. Crew, this policy is not required. We do have a reorganizational chart. We do have an organizational chart that we approve each year at the reorg meeting, just so everyone's aware. So we're not getting rid of the organizational chart. We're just getting rid of the policy. We will continue to have an organizational chart, just so everyone is aware. Yep. It'll be on the reorg agenda. Any other questions from trustees? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to our last policy. Can I have a motion to review policy 8625, privacy and security for student, teachers, and principal data? Mr. Siri, second. Mr. Crew, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. At this time, we'll open it up to the community for any new business. Moving on to trustee new business. Any trustees or any new business they want to bring before the board? Not here?
I'm sorry, I'd just like to thank, my son's teachers today, but that extends to every teacher in Sylvan and Ms. Dugan who seamlessly transitioned into the all remote learning, because it was fantastic compared to the spring where everybody was doing their best but new to it, to today where it seemed like they've been doing it for years. And I'm sure the same is true with the high school and Blue Point and every other building who has had to close. But I just want to extend a thank you and a congratulations, because it was very well done.
Thank you, Mr. Siri.
That we were getting texts and we were getting information the night before in preparation. My daughters were first thing in the morning up running live instruction on the laptops. Very, very good job. Good job, Tim. Good job to you and your staff.
Any other trustee new business? Again, Mr. Oliva, last board meeting, thank you so much for everything. We truly appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Any more trustee new business? Give a motion to adjourn? Mr. Siri, second? Ms. Byrne, all in favor? Thank you guys so much, I appreciate it.